Bentonville fire captain resigns after an altercation involving an Asian man. Artists and local vendors come together to provide some unique items in Pittsburgh. How one company in Lamar brought families together while staying safe from COVID.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Bentonville fire captain has resigned from his job after being accused of assaulting an Asian man outside of Oakland Casino in Hot Springs. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. Benjamin Snodgrass reportedly admitted to police that he confronted the victim about not being American. Reporter Jordan Howington has more.
He tells me he had just left the casino and he was waiting on his Uber when he was suddenly attacked. And after that, he now feels like he has to watch his back everywhere he goes.
See this one?
Lim Nguyen is back to work doing what he loves in a community he thinks highly of.
I have a lot of friends here in town. We go fishing, we go out, have fun, we do everything.
But now his guard is up.
It's horrible right now.
After now, former Bentonville fire captain Benjamin Snodgrass, seen here on police body cam footage, allegedly assaulted him. Nguyen said while minding his own business, Snodgrass came up to him and said, quote, his kind of people aren't supposed to be here. And then Nguyen says he threatened to kill him.
The scuffle happened since then, punches happens, but he was the one that put his hands on me, and I had to defend myself after that.
Snodgrass has since been charged with third-degree battery and public intox. And while there is some fear, Nguyen shares his story to reach out to others facing the same worries.
I want to speak up for other Asian community, other Asian people in this state, that if something happens to you, speak up. Don't hide from it. You still have to live your life through it. You can't hide from people like this.
In a statement from Nguyen's attorney, she says he deserves justice. And while Arkansas is one of 3 states that does not have a hate crime law, she and Nguyen both hope the state's legislature will consider his story as motivation to pass the recently proposed bill.
This hate stuff has to stop. We're all human beings. Everybody's equal.
Now, Snodgrass spent 15 years with the Bentonville Fire Department. He has pleaded not guilty and will appear in court again in May. Nick Kelly joining us on what was an absolutely effulgent day. Effulgent.
Yeah, certainly was, Chris. After a chilly start, a nice rebound in temperatures today. After we started at 53, we topped out at 74 this afternoon, 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. While most of us enjoyed a quiet day, there was a little bit of thunderstorm activity to keep an eye on south and east of I-44. That's mainly the closer you were to Table Rock Lake. Fortunately, none of that materialized was strong or severe. All that activity is stretching as far north as Indianapolis, Indiana, and the third round within the past 10 days of severe weather across parts of the deep south. Around here, we're as quiet as can be, but turning cooler behind the cold front. 50 in Iola already, while the rest of us are trying to hold on to mid-50s, but we are not by far done in terms of cooling off. We'll drop back near 40 tonight. We'll rebound tomorrow, but definitely a cooler day compared to today. Still not bad though, Chris, with highs near 61. We'll break down the week ahead here in a bit.
Okay, another effulgent day tomorrow. I got it this time. When you're learning new words, you know, it gets to you. Nick, thank you. Well, earlier today, Down to Earth in Pittsburgh hosted their first outdoor event of the year, the Spring Fling, where over 20 local artists and vendors came together to share their works with the community. Now, the event will be taking place during the last Saturdays of the month from now on, and it's a way for local artists and small businesses to get together and connect with one another.
This is for fun. We all show up, we get together, and we talk about the things that we love, and we trade and we sell, and we show our wares and we show our talents. We have a lot of really talented people. We have a lot of awesome artists just right here in our own backyard.
Now, items sold range from jewelry, plants, and even repurposed furniture. Many items sold today cannot be found at most common stores. Well, the Yandot Nation held its first ever Easter egg hunt today. Different age groups were allowed to hit the tribal powwow grounds, searching for eggs filled with candy, of course, but also toys and even money.
Oh, it's great. It's great to be out here on such a beautiful Saturday morning and see our grounds. This is our traditional powwow grounds, and to see it full of kids out there having fun. Yeah, I believe it'll probably turn into an annual event, especially with the success that we're seeing here this morning. And so, it's something we'll want to continue on.
The hunt was open to kids ranging in age from newborn to 12 years old. Of course, with Easter just about a week away, people still continuing to celebrate or getting ready to. In Lamar, Whisper Internet hosted an Easter egg hunt around the town, although it wasn't a traditional egg hunt. With the ongoing pandemic, the company wanted residents to be able to come together as a community while staying safe, too. So they hid eggs and baskets around local businesses and posted clues on Facebook for people in the community to find them.
We don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable with the COVID, pandemic going on. So we try to do things that are just, less contact. Like I was here, but I didn't have contact with anybody. I was able to talk to them, ask if they were having fun.
Now, 5 local businesses participated in the hunt. Tryon would post a clue about the eggs location on Facebook at one of those locations, and participants would use that to find the location and collect their eggs. With growing numbers of migrants crossing into the U.S., the issue is heating up as Washington lawmakers head to the southern border to see the conditions at holding facilities and assign blame. Those Border Patrol facilities face overcrowding with some 18,000 unaccompanied migrant children in federal custody as of Friday, and a scramble is on to set up temporary shelters to house them. CBS News correspondent Michael George has more from New York.
Senator Ted Cruz posted this video from his visit to a holding facility in Donna, Texas.
All of us today witnessed the Biden cages. What is occurring here on the border is heartbreaking, and it is a tragedy.
The Texas Republican led a delegation of GOP senators to the border on Friday. On Saturday, another congressional delegation toured the El Paso border area.
We must change the narrative as quickly as we can. These are not invaders. They're not terrorists. They are individuals that have come to America from the beginning of time.
During the first official news conference of his administration, President Biden this week defended his handling of the issue and said the migrant influx is seasonal.
It happens every single solitary year. There is a significant increase in the number of people coming to the border in the winter months.
San Diego's mayor and area congressional leaders visited the city's convention center Saturday. The Biden administration will use it as a temporary shelter for about 1,450 girls.
These are children. This is the right thing to do, and San Diegans will always do the right thing. Americans will always do the right thing.
And the administration says it plans to issue a new rule aimed at protecting DACA, which shields some undocumented immigrants brought into the U.S. as children from deportation. Michael George, CBS News.
The Texas Republican Attorney General is seeking to have the program declared unlawful and gradually terminated. A U.S. District Court judge scheduled a hearing on the DACA case for Tuesday. And it's time now for us to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Boatswain's mate First Class Otto Norman served with the Navy from 1917 to 1919 during World War I. His hometown, Baxter Springs, and we are proud to recognize Boatswain's mate First Class Otto Norman, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, remember, you other heroes, or nominate one of your own. Just head over to our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. And that's a look at our top stories and a quick check of the forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, we'll take a look at this week's top medical stories. Why exercise may be the best prescription for dementia patients, and how long do coronavirus antibodies last? Famie Redwood has some of the day's top health stories.
A new study finds COVID-19 antibodies weaken at different rates, lasting just days in some people and possibly decades in others. A team of international scientists used data from COVID-19 patients to develop an algorithm predicting the antibodies' trajectory over time. Researchers also found people may still be protected with T-cell immunity even when antibodies are low. Exercise appears to be just as effective as drugs at treating depression in dementia patients. A report in the British Medical Journal finds non-drug treatments like exercise and massage therapy work just as well or even better than medications among dementia patients suffering from depression or loneliness. And a new University of Florida study suggests having only one personal doctor may lead to unnecessary tests. Researchers found an estimated 40% of male patients who had a single general physician were more likely to receive a prostate cancer screening test at a time when the test was not recommended by public health experts. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Femi Redwood, CBS News, New York.
We spoke with Dr. Randall Williams, the director of the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, on a few topics regarding the coronavirus in Missouri. He says he spoke with the governor's chief of staff earlier this week about the vaccine supply that Missouri can expect.
And they're now able to predict out for us a very stable supply of all three vaccines, which is just for the Missouri part is more than 200,000 a week coming next week. That's not counting all the different platforms of FQHCs and Health Mart and Walmart and CVS and Walgreens that the federal government is giving in addition to that 200,000.
And we also talked with Dr. Williams about the progress of getting those vaccines out to Missourians.
I think it's going very well. I think we're vaccinating our most vulnerable and we're pushing it out to every Missourian. Our goal is that every Missourian who wants a vaccine should be able to get one by June.
Now, we'll hear more from Dr. Williams regarding the coronavirus response in the state of Missouri tomorrow night on the KOAM News at 10. Well, later in sports, NEO opening up their spring season. Danny Terzer will have those highlights. Later, do you know the way to San Jose? Well, that's where we're going as a community tackles a major move.
For pretty much everybody, we were able to keep things quiet on this Saturday. That's despite a cold front that plowed on through today, and we're definitely going to feel more of its impacts as we wrap up the weekend for tomorrow. Not much in the way of impacts, though, as that front rolled through, at least from our vantage point from Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri. Yeah, even a little cloud cover at times, but still partly to mostly sunny skies. Can have asked for a nicer looking day in general. But now the sun has set, and with cooler air really filtering in behind the cold front as well, it's downright chilly outside. 56 in Joplin, feels like 56 still, even with that north breeze kind of up there at 22 miles per hour. Not strong enough to give us a wind chill, so thankfully that 56 is exactly what it feels like outside. We're at 55 in Pittsburgh, 57 in Galena, Seneca, while Webb is at 55. Same goes for Oronogo. Pretty much around the Joplin Metro, we're in the mid-50s still and across much of the region as well. But look at Iola at 50, Yates Center at 50. That's more of that cooler air that'll work in from the northwest as we continue through the overnight. We are going to get that breeze to lighten up too. That with clear skies overall, that's going to allow temperatures to drop back near 40 as we get your Sunday morning started. Fortunately, with dry air in place and mostly sunny skies still on tap for tomorrow, back into the mid-50s by lunchtime and back at least in the lower 60s for many of you tomorrow. I'm starting this view of the map here with the Skywatch Storm Tracker of the radar network because while it's certainly quiet across the entire region, it was quiet for much of the day. Doug did mention that we would have maybe a few showers, a few thunderstorms go to our far southeastern counties, and lo and behold, as that cold front rolled on through, that's exactly what we had happen. Fortunately, though, none of that turned into anything too strong or severe. Unfortunately, all that stuff is back in the deep south, where I think this is their third round of severe weather within a span of 10 days, if not 2 weeks, which is certainly more than they certainly need. But all that severe weather still ahead of the same cold front that passed on through, but we're not going to deal with any of that. We are quiet here behind the front and with high pressure keeping that northerly breeze in place. Not to mention upstairs, this upper low pushing the front through is keeping us on the cooler side of the jet as we go into your Sunday. This setup overall, though, means everyone can enjoy a quiet night, mostly clear skies through the overnight and into tomorrow morning. Look at how chilly, or rather cool, it gets all across the area. Everyone drops back near 40 with that north breeze fortunately lighter at 5 to 15 miles per hour. We'll go 54 by lunchtime. I want to say Joplin tops out around 61 degrees, but for those of you on the Kansas and Oklahoma side with maybe a more westerly component, a slightly milder breeze, I wouldn't be surprised if you had some mid-60s popping up before the afternoon is all said and done. Wanted to quickly show you the jet stream set up through the middle of next week. We're back on the milder side of the jet Monday. That pushes us back into the upper 60s, but then sticking with Doug's pattern, an upper low passing well to the north actually pushes the cold front through at the surface. So we'll have that result in some rain chances if we can get to the 7-day. There we go. Late Tuesday and lasting as late as Wednesday morning. Temperatures still look okay. 61 tomorrow, 68 Monday, 62 on Tuesday. A quick detour into the middle to upper 50s Wednesday and Thursday, Chris, before we're back in the 60s as we head toward the Easter weekend.
Looks like overall a pretty good week, though.
Yeah, even with some rain chances here or there, it's not looking that bad, really.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, the NEO football team opens up its spring schedule against Trinity Valley. Plus, it's rivalry weekend for Pitt State and Missouri Southern softball. Danny Terzer's up next with the highlights.
This weekend is opening weekend for junior college football. The junior college season was pushed back from fall to spring due to COVID-19. The NEO Golden Norsemen open their schedule against Trinity Valley this afternoon. It's the first game for NEO under head coach Zach Crissup. NEO leading late in the first. Trinity Valley with possession here, though. Matt Morsey finds Jordan Davis in the end zone. 10-7 Norsemen after one. Cardinals deep in NEO territory. Morrissey takes it himself. Touchdown for the QB. Trinity Valley takes the lead. NEO unable to rally. The Norsemen fall 29-10.
We beat ourselves today, and then not anything against Trinity Valley, but they did a good job. We didn't take care of those things when it comes to not being disciplined and beating yourself today. And if we do that, it's a lot closer ball game, and we get a chance to be a good ball team.
It's rivalry weekend for Pitt State and Missouri Southern softball. The Lions host the Gorillas for a doubleheader this afternoon in Joplin. Pitt State enters the day 4-2 in the MIAA, while Southern is 1-3. In Game 1, Cammie Zimmerman knocks it into the shortstop. Her throw is off, though. Zimmerman makes it to second. Then Madison Zemansky flies out to left. Zimmerman gets stranded on third. Game scoreless after 4. Top of the 5th, Josie Topai lays out for the catch. Scoreless still. Michaela Leinhart puts it into the right corner. Lindley Parrott scores. MSSU gets by Pittsburgh in Game 1, 1-0. The Lions will go on to sweep the Gorillas. Missouri Southern wins Game 2, 6-1. Leighton Withers gets a triple. Adriana Young scores 3 of her team's 6 runs.
Feels really good, just because the amount of work that we've put in. We played a tough pre-con schedule, and it paid off today. It really did, and we found out what we can do, pitching, defensively, clutch hitting. A lot of good things happened today, and now we've got to continue it.
The Missouri Southern baseball team is on the road today for a conference doubleheader against Fort Hays State. The Lions top the Tigers in Game 1, 16-6. MSSU with 6 home runs. Game 2, Southern does it again, this time a much closer contest. Tommy Stevenson, wow, 6 hits, 6 RBI. These two teams will wrap up the 3-game series tomorrow afternoon. Pittsburgh State also on the road this afternoon facing Central Oklahoma. In Game 1, PSU falls 8-2, but the Gorillas go on to take Game 2, 10-3. Garrett McGowan tallies 2 hits, 2 runs, and 3 RBI. Crowder College has been one of the best teams in the nation all season long. The Rough Riders have won 11 straight games and have made it up to number 6 in the national rankings. Crowder aims to keep their winning streak alive today with a doubleheader against 3 Rivers. Peyton Holt pops this one up. Long throw home. Logan Chambers beats it. Crowder takes an early lead. Then Josh Patrick singles up the gap. There goes Clayton Gray racing in, safe again. 3-0 Rough Riders after 1. Patrick back at the plate in the 4th. Hits a bomb over the right side fence. That's a 2-run home run. Crowder gets their 12th win in a row and takes Game 1 of the series 7-1. In Game 2, Crowder going for the doubleheader sweep. Rough Riders cruise by the Raiders 16-1 with home runs from Landry Wilkerson and Gavin Gaskell. These two teams are right back on the field for a doubleheader tomorrow afternoon in Neosho. That's a look at sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
Go Rewards prizes.
Well, most of us have moved at least once in our lives, sometimes more. You end up missing the home that you left, but you look forward to making new memories in your new home. So imagine if you could take the entire thing with you. CBS's Maria Medina is in San Jose, where one community is doing just that.
Such a cool old structure.
For 111 years, the Pallison Apartments has had the address 14 East Reed Street in San Jose.
We live a little closer to where they're moving it.
But come Sunday, it'll move to a new address less than a quarter mile away on 4th and Reed.
Great that they're keeping this. It's got nice old bones.
And that the community came together to raise funds for it is pretty awesome.
And no one gave up. And the stars aligned.
Ben Leach, executive director for the Preservation Action Council of San Jose, says the 4-unit apartment building was scheduled to be demolished in December, but the community rallied together to save it.
And, to see it go to the landfill was just nobody really thought they could stomach that.
Ben says the developer who plans to build a mixed commercial and residential tower donated the building to Habitat for Humanity. The city donated the land it'll soon rest on, charging Habitat for Humanity just $1. And community members donated more than $250,000 for its move.
We're really excited to see this roll down the street on Sunday.
Is it going to be that easy though? Is it really going to roll down the street?
I actually have never seen a structure move quite like this.
Like, that's so weird. Like, you never see that every day. So I'll definitely be coming down.
And residents, especially those who live on Reed Street, will get a front row seat on Sunday.
They'll probably shut down this whole street and then take it right down the middle, back it in. Yeah, that'll be fun.
And that's our time for now. Have a good night.